Been a couple of years on Off the Podium since we have talked about the great sport of boxing, and what a way to bring it back to the show today, because not only are we talking to a boxer, we're talking to a super heavyweight boxer, a man who is set to make his Olympic debut in just a matter of weeks, let's say it that way, at the Paris Olympics. An esteemed career. I'm talking to an Australian super heavyweight champion just back from the US, where he's won a gold in an invitational event, where through that tournament, he beat the reigning Olympic bronze medalist, if you don't mind, Pacific Games champion. This guy has got a resume longer than my arm, and I'm so excited to learn more about it. And his arms, because they've got fists and weapons on it that's going to kick some ass come Paris. It's a pleasure to welcome to the show Teremoana Jr Teremoana. Teremoana, first of all, welcome to Off the Podium.
Oh, thanks so much, Ben. It's awesome. I'm so glad you got me on to tell my story.
I'm so excited to hear your story, because boxing is just a sport that everybody loves. We always love watching boxing at the Olympics, and I love hearing the stories behind all the athletes who get involved in it, because we all think, it's just people hitting each other. That's, you're just angry. You just want to kind of do that. You just kind of want to get the frustration out, but it's always more to that. So how did you get started in the sport of boxing?
So getting started in the sport, originally I played rugby league up until I was 12. And then my dad wanted me to learn how to fight to look after my sisters. So that's how it all started. And I got into boxing then. So
wow.
At the age of 12, I started.
Fantastic. So rugby league, was that something that you had just picked up young and kind of enjoyed it? Kind of what sort of drew that before you did make that transition to boxing?
So I've said it a few times, but so I actually wanted to just play rugby. And so they come up, when under 12s, my dad asked me, what do you want to do? Do you want to play rugby league or do you want to do boxing? And then I was like, I want to play rugby league. And then the next week, I was in a boxing gym, and then I was boxing.
Wow.
That's pretty much how it started. But I always had I don't know if you would say passion, but a dream to play for the New South Wales Blues, because I'm a Blues supporter, and I've always wanted to do that, and still to this day, I think that'll be one of the maddest, like the coolest things to do for me is to play for the New South Wales Blues. So
there's time still, I say. I never say give up on those. Olympic gold medalist who then makes a transition back to league. I mean, Anthony Mundine did the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So,
what I was saying is, after I win the gold medal at the Olympics, surely I'll go to the Blues and they'll let me run on as a reserve or something. The last 30 seconds or something. That's my dream come true.
Hey, look, I'm sure they could do worse on that level. And you've got the history of the playing league anyway, so the gold just adds to it. So I like that. That's fascinating. What do you, though, think? I mean, do you remember when your dad comes to you and sort of does that switch? And obviously, the goal to kind of help out with your sisters and that. Like, did you ever think this would be something that would become competitive outside of maybe just, doing it for protection purposes?
To be honest, I am just kind of a go with the flow type person. And my dad always wanted me to fight. And so I ended up fighting 2 years later. And when I first started, I was boxing and playing league at the same time, and then just transitioned into boxing, because boxing is very demanding and you can't like slack off type thing. So yeah, ended up boxing. And then, so I actually didn't like boxing. Even still to this day, I'm not a fan of boxing. I do it for my own reasons now, but up until I was 19, I was boxing, but didn't like it. And just, because I have a lot of respect for my father, and like when you're a kid, you don't know anything. So you listen to your parents because they have the wisdom and the knowledge that they've had through their years. So I just trusted him and then did what he told me. And then when I came to 19, I also finished my, I think, apprenticeship. No, I didn't finish my apprenticeship at that time, but started a plumbing apprenticeship. And that's why I stopped completely to like focus on my apprenticeship.
Had your dad had a background in boxing at all, or was it just sort of something that, he hadn't been able to sort of achieve, maybe what you're achieving now or something like that?
So I would say that he didn't have the opportunity to pursue it like I did. So he worked hard to get us in a position so me and my siblings have opportunities to do things that he never got to do. And I'm just kind of, using that opportunity now, and like through doing that, I've now qualified through the Olympics. And like I said, it's not really, well, it's not a passion. I know a lot of people love the sports that they do. I don't really love it. I don't love it. I just kind of I have a goal, which my family knows. My personal goal is to like represent my family and represent us, like our family name, because my name's Teremoana. That's my surname. That's
Says
my
it so much better than I do, by the way. I just want to point that out. You know,
yeah.
that's how you're meant to say it. Ignore that crap that I said at the beginning.
Yeah. So like that's for me. I just want to represent us, and like that's my goal, and I want to put the name into history forever. And when I achieve gold at the Olympics, I've succeeded. And like it's just like, to me, I see it as work. Nobody likes going to work every day, but you got to do it, you know. And like I don't think I've got a bad gig boxing, because through training you stay fit and you stay healthy and you learn discipline and you learn all these types of things, like which is will better your life. And like that's, so yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a bit funny in my situation, but I'm not against it, is what I'm trying to say.
I love how you explain that though, Terma. Like that,
Yeah.
that's just such a unique perspective. I think I've done hundreds of these interviews, and you are the first person that has ever said on this show that it's a job, you don't really like it, but you're doing it, and you're doing it for your reasons that are completely different. Like that's so fascinating, but I love hearing that.
Nah, thank you. And like, yeah, like we could be doing anything in this life, and I chose boxing because I believe it's one of the hardest sports. Well, that's my belief. There's like hard sports all over the world, but in my mind, boxing is one of the hardest sports in the world. So if I can achieve the top, be the champion, gold medal, world champion, I'm kind of setting an example for my younger cousins, my younger siblings, all my nieces and nephews growing up now, that we can do anything we set our mind to. So if I can do it, they can do it, because there's nothing too special about me. It's just I've set a goal and I'm determined to complete it.
Fantastic. You inspire me right now. We're only like 10 minutes into this interview, and I just want to like get off my ass and do something better right now with myself. This is so damn inspiring. But I mean, your name itself, like it also sort of, you took on the extra Teremoana because your granddad, and I believe sort of what happened there also inspired you further to kind of pursue this a little bit more. I mean, tell us about your granddad and kind of what made that take you to the next level and add the extra Teremoana to your name.
Yeah, so I was always when I was born, my name on my birth certificate was Teremoana Samson Jr Teremoana, and my dad really wanted the name Samson. So do you know who Samson is?
It's a religion, something in the Bible, is it?
Yeah, so
that's about as far as I could probably answer that question.
Yeah, you can relate him to Hercules. He was very strong.
Right. Okay.
And he was in the Bible. So he was a Nazarite, which God made a promise to him to not cut his hair. Long story short, don't cut his hair, and he'll get like super strength. And then so that's who I'm named after. Samson is my namesake, my middle name. And then my dad called me that because that's what he wanted for me, and he also believed like in the name as well that I would inherit those attributes. And then so I was being called Samson up until my 21st. My grandfather passed away the year before, and because I'm his namesake, named after him, I'm Teremoana Jr. After my 21st, I decided to be to take on my first name and to like carry on my grandfather's name now that he's gone. So now like everything that I do reflects straight back. Like I'm like if you look at me, looking at my family, like it reflects straight back to them. And that's why yeah, pretty much since that day it gave me a drive. And then it was 3 days after that I decided, oh, I want to be the world champ. And then that's when I made the decision I want to get back into boxing, because at that time I stopped at 19 and then like 21. So I made the decision to get back into boxing, but I was going on a holiday around Australia. I'd done the trip for 10 months, like in a caravan, done that, put on heaps of weight, and then come back with the same, even after that 10 months away, like having a holiday, living the time of my life, the decision that I made after my birthday was still there. it's still here right now. Like I still plan to execute it. And yeah, now we're here. We just keep on going forward because I really believe we can do. Even when I was a child, before like I had the drive to do something, I always believed in my heart that no matter what I do, if I dedicated my time to it and practice it, I could be the best at anything. And like, so I chose boxing because I thought that was one of the hardest things to do.
Such a great layers to that story, and the family connection and carrying your grandfather's legacy, just all those layers. And I love that then addition of you get back into boxing, you travel around the country, you put on some weight. So what division were you sort of boxing in sort of as a junior? Was it always super heavyweight, or was that after that trip you were like, oh no, I'm big now, I'm going to the super heavyweight?
So I was always a super heavyweight when I was young. Like I said, I boxed from 12 to 19. So my first fight, I was 66 kilos.
Wow.
And then every year after that, I put on like 10 kilos roughly. So 13, I was 70. 14, I was 80, 15, and so on. But like just roughly. And then when I stopped boxing, I was 105 kilos. And then after the holiday, I was 140. And then I lost weight back to 114. And then now I just go up and down 130, 120, 130, 120, because it's very easy for us big fellas to gain weight. And I like my food. And
you got to. You have to. Which, I mean, just on that, I'm always intrigued when it comes to the highest weight division of any combat sport, right? Because say just the heavyweight, flyweight, you've obviously got like a little window there. Whereas yourself, it's what, 92 kilos plus.
So it's open.
So if you're 114 kilos and you're battling a 92 kilo boxer, is the obvious answer going to be because you're 20 kilos bigger, you're going to kick his ass? Or is there something a little bit more to it? A 92 kilo might have a bit of an advantage over a 114 kilo boxer.
So what tends to happen is, let's just use one 92 kilo and 115, like you said. What tends to happen is the smaller one will be faster, quicker, fitter, and then the bigger one will be slower. And usually gases, gets tired a lot faster. So in an amateur fight, it's always better to be fitter, because if you can make your opponent miss, if you can't land a punch, the 92 kilo guy is going to win because he can just hit you. You don't have to hit hard. All you got to do is place your glove on them, and that's a point. So what usually happens, like on the world stage, what I've noticed, the big boys are about 110 kilos on an international level. And then the small ones are about 95 to 100 kilo. And then I'm 120. So I'm one of the biggest on the international level. And what usually happens, the bigger you get, the slower you get. But in myself, I've just my attributes, I'm actually faster than the smaller guys. At my size. But in saying that, because I have all that weight, I still will tire faster than them.
Right.
So it's like a give and take. And because I'm bigger, I'm stronger. But it's like a give and take. So if you're bigger, you'll get tired faster. If you're smaller, you're weaker, but you're usually fitter. Yeah.
How fascinating. So, and do you then, I can imagine you're still working heavily, not just with coaches for technique and that, but do you work with a nutritionist and sort of dietitians that are assisting you with kind of a balancing a diet with the weight that then is mixing with the gym work? Like, I mean, because obviously, again, there's no, top limit. You could be 180 kilos, I guess, if you wanted to be. But like, what I'm trying to ask is, how do you kind of balance that with everything that you were just saying there with your food and your training?
Yeah. So, we've done a lot of trial and error through the past year through our international competitions. And I've fought from a range of 128 to 119 kilos at those different weights. And what we've noticed is when I'm 120 and lighter, is I'm able to execute what my coaches are asking me to do. So I'm a lot fitter. And I've also noticed when I'm at that weight, I'm stronger as well. And the extra weight just tends to slow me down and make me a bit just a bit too heavy, and I can't execute what I'm supposed to do. So now that we know that 120 is the perfect weight for me, now the nutritionist works around me. So it's not really a weight loss program. It's just a fueling program. So what I do is I eat to fuel. So if I have a training session in the morning and like I eat for that training session, and then if I have another one later, I eat for that, and then that's about it. Because I'm not really focused on losing weight. I'm
Mm.
just focused on having the fuel to have quality training every single day and recover. That's what it's about for me.
It's fascinating to hear that, because I know when we've had boxers on in the past and we've talked about kind of what it's like to maintain that weight division. Same with, say, if we've had someone from judo, taekwondo, and sort of, maintaining that sort of gap where you've got to be. It's just fascinating when you're in that, the top tier where there's no real, I guess, kind of, ceiling is there.
No, it's
So
not. You can be whatever.
that's fascinating. Which then is that sort of like, then I remember famously Michael Phelps would, be eating certain amount of bowls of pasta and, carb loading and obviously to that sort of stuff. So when you're saying you're fueling for your performance, are you carb loading? I mean, protein, like what's kind of, what is your fuel? What is Teremoana's fuel that you're getting before a bout?
Um, so before a bout's different from my normal training because the bout's just 9 minutes long. So I'll just do a normal day's training. What I usually do is I have 3 meals of the day. In the morning, that's when I eat 80% of my carbs. I eat a lot of oats, toast. I get all that in the morning. So carbohydrates. I usually have oats or toast and eggs, but and I limit my protein just to like maybe 4 eggs or 200 grams of meat of any kind, and then that's breakfast. I go to training in the morning, and then after training, come back and have lunch, and then lunch will be less than the morning. So if I have 4 pieces of toast in the morning, I'll have maximum 2 pieces of toast for lunch, and then I just have big bowls of salad to fill me up. And then again, another 200 grams of protein. So that's consistent. And then for dinner, if I don't have a hard session in the morning, like I usually if I have 3 sessions the next day, I'll eat a little bit of carbs. So I'll have another 2 slices of toast, just for example. But it could be anything, rice, and then 200 grams of meat, and then I fill up on salad because I like to eat so much. I just have to fill up on vegetables and salad, and then if I do that, my weight just finds its perfect spot, which is around 120, and then so that's what I usually do for a normal day.
And mum and dad love hearing that you're eating all the vegetables, of course. So that that keeps
Always eating vegetables.
always eating the vegetables. That's one thing that you do with that. And then in terms of those sessions, I mean, what is your current sort of schedule like between now and Paris? Are you sort of very regimented in terms of these are the days of the gym? Like, is it a 6-day week, a 7-day week? Like, kind of what is your current training session like between now and the games?
So leading up into the games, while we're here, because when we go internationally, it changes a bit. But while we're here, we train 6 days a week, twice a day, and like you said, we alternate. So we have a boxing session every day. That's pretty set in stone, and the times will change around what we're doing. And then we have 3 gym sessions a week, and then the other sessions will be like a cardio based conditioning type thing. And then so what's that, 3, and then like 4 conditionings. So that's pretty much it. Train twice a day, 6 days a week. And when it comes to boxing sessions, that could be substituted with sparring, technical work, could be hard rounds like interval rounds, which is also conditioning. And then the other type of conditioning is running, and we do that about 3 to 4 times a week. So it's pretty consistent. And then Sundays, my day off. I especially try to keep Sundays off because I'm a Christian, and that's a rest day.
And what do you do on the rest day? What is a Sunday like for you at the moment?
So my coach, she always wants me to go for a walk, but I tend to just lay down and do nothing, to be honest. I go to church in the morning, and then, to be honest, just do nothing. I really just do nothing. I'm very laid back.
But you need that, I guess, don't you? 6 days a week, you're training your ass off for the Olympic Games. You kind of need to just lay around and chill and watch Netflix or something, right?
Yeah. So, and that's kind of what I do, just really just switch off. I'm very good at switching off. Like after training, I'll switch off. Some people can't do it, but I just train and switch off. Sometimes I switch off too much where I switch off, switch off in the ring. Nah, but yeah,
Don't say that. Don't say that.
yeah, I'll say it. Nah, but yeah. So I'm very laid back in what I do. I don't take things too seriously. I just kind of go with the flow because yeah, as long as I'm getting my work done, the results should show. This what I believe.
Is there much mental training as well? Is there kind of the mental aspect of boxing that you kind of focus on throughout that?
I think there is. Some people need will need more advice than others. We do have like sports psychologists and stuff, but I don't tend to get along with them. I get along with them, but I just don't understand what they're trying to do with me. Because I feel like what works for me, and um, yeah, I'm very focused on my goal. And to me, you don't have to do everything perfect to get to the goal. You just got to stay consistent and have faith that what you're doing is working and trust your coaches and stuff. And that's what I do. And so far, everything's been sweet. Everything's been going in the right direction. We've been getting better. And now Olympics is 3 months away, and I plan to win gold.
That's what we like hearing. That's what we like hearing. Which, because it is that aspect of, I mean, obviously we know the developments and everything in terms of things like sports psychology and everything over the years, but it is something that can work for some and not for others, and it just depends on your sport and your mindset, right? Like with any form of psychology, you know, it's not a one size fits all approach. And I'm sure that, as you're saying, you've got your things that you know are going to work for you, and in a sport like boxing,
Yeah,
that's going to be a little bit more important than some other sports out there.
yeah, 100%. And like, yeah, it might work for some, might work not work for others. But like boxing's a sport. You're either gonna win or you're gonna lose. You can't focus too much on the result because like you can't control that. All you can control is what you're doing and what you're training to do. And then when you get in the ring, so my mindset is when I step in the ring, I trust everything that I've done, all the training that I've done, all the sparring I've done, how I've performed previously. And then no matter the result coming out, I've already accepted that. As long as I've done my best, I'm happy. And like, yeah. So that's my mindset. And I feel like that because I don't put any pressure on myself, I feel like I perform because of that.
I love that. Again, love hearing that, Teremoana. That's such a great way of looking at it. One thing that's always, I don't know if the correct word I want to say here is confused me, or I guess maybe you can clarify something for me with boxing. You, I believe, were pro. So you did some pro bouts for a few years.
Yes,
but now
obviously
four pro bouts, which are undefeated, by the way. We should mention that.
Yeah.
And now you're obviously Olympics, which is not pro. So how does that work when you're pro and then want to get back to the Olympics? Like, can you explain how that would work in most boxing, I guess, competitions and making that switch?
Okay. I don't know the exact dates, but let's just pick a date. But there's no exact date. So before 2010, like fake date, you couldn't go from pro to amateur. It was I don't know if you say illegal, you just couldn't do it.
Once you turn pro, that's it. You can't go back.
So if you're amateur, once you turn pro, you're pro. You can't come back to the amateurs.
Yep.
And then 2010, they come up with a rule that professionals can come back to the amateur ranks. And then there was a lot at the beginning of the time. They would say, "Oh, you could have 10 pro fights." And then once you have 10, you can't come back to the amateurs. You have to stay pro, like that. But at this point in time, it's not 10 fights. You can have as many fights as you want as a pro. So I could have 30 fights and then fight as an amateur. The only rule is if I fight today as a pro, I can't fight for the next month as an amateur.
Right.
And that's the rule. So if the Olympics was tomorrow and I had a pro fight today, I can't compete at the Olympics because it's within that 1 month threshold. And that's the only rule. You can go back and forth So fight as a pro, wait 1 month, fight as an amateur, fight as a pro the next day. There's not a probation on the other way around. It's just going back to the amateurs. And then you can go back and forth as many times as you want, which some people do right now internationally. But me personally, I just come back to the amateurs and I'm just focused on that. And then after the Olympics, I'll probably go back to pros, but most likely go back to pros because, yeah, I'll win gold and go from there.
And probably helps the levels about to get up, because I've always found that fascinating, because obviously, you know, we know the history of the Olympics. It's a very amateur competition and that's changed significantly over the years, but boxing is still one of those very few sports where it's still, you know, strictly amateur. I mean, as an athlete, are you sort of constantly weighing up the, no pun intended, the pros of the pros versus the pros of the amateur? Because obviously an Olympics becomes a dream. You want to go to the Olympics versus the benefits of pros and money and all that kind of stuff. Like how often is that playing on the mind, sort of the pros and cons of each sort of part of boxing?
Yeah. Like you said, in the amateurs, you don't get paid. In the pros, you get paid. And saying that, depending on how much you get paid depends on your success in the pros. And so the reason I come back was because I was struggling to find fights, and we decided, oh, if I come back to the amateurs, go to the Olympics, and then medal, that'll add value to my name, my profile, and then when I go back to the pros, because it's added value, I'll get more money. More people want to fight me because they want to beat an Olympian. And like just stuff like that. So I did it for those purposes. But in regards to pro style and amateur style, it's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Pros, you're kind of in there to, I say kill your opponent, but you're there to bash him, beat him down, and like KO him. Whereas in the amateurs, you're there to point score. And that's the difference, yeah.
Much shorter too, right? Like what, 9 minutes versus, 10 rounds.
3-minute rounds, the pace is, let's say the pace is 10, but you can't hold a 10 pace in a pro fight when it goes over 10 rounds, because you're going to get tired in, say, the 5th round, and then your opponent's going to take advantage of you because you're tired and then probably knock you out. So, yeah, a good pro, if it comes to the amateurs, will usually get outscored by an amateur in 3 rounds just because of the pace. And it's, that's why in respect to both of them, you just pick one or the other.
Floyd Mayweather's not going to wake up tomorrow and basically be like, I'm going to the Olympics and I'm going to win gold, because he's obviously probably going to be quite underprepared for the style of amateur boxing versus what he's been doing for the last 20 or so years, basically.
Yeah. Oh, some people might be great, but I can't speak on Mayweather. But yeah, exactly what I'm saying. The style's just maybe not suit. You might be the best amateur in the world going to the pros, but it's just a different game, so you might get showed up in that circumstance.
It's got to be. I mean, again, I'm probably not thinking of other sports, but it's maybe the only sport where there's such a significant difference between the pro and the amateur form, where it's almost like they should be called different things. Obviously, it's both boxing, but I mean, as you're saying, like it's on different levels, really, what you do, and it's fascinating when you just kind of look at that aspects of it. But also it's good, I guess, in a way that it's becoming a little bit more relaxed on that level where you can go box for a month as a pro and then come back to the Olympics, which I guess, makes it a little bit more exciting come the Olympics every 4 years when you've got somebody returning to amateur out of pro.
Yeah. And I wouldn't really call it amateur, call it Olympic style boxing.
Right.
That's the difference. Like, just because someone is an amateur, most of these fighters have been dedicated years and years to their craft in boxing. And so they're actually like a professional in that stance. But I've noticed when I go international, they call it Olympic style boxing,
right,
and professional boxing. And like Olympic style is associated
makes
with
complete
amateur,
sense. It makes complete,
If you look at it like that, that's where you can see the different styles, because it's both different games.
It's just it's so fascinating and interesting how that kind of plays out and works. Your success sort of that's come in the last couple of years. I want to touch on what's just happened in the US in a moment, but the Pacific Games last year, where you get the Olympic qualification, I mean, that in itself must have been a great experience. Just Australia, you're going over there as well, just everything about that. I mean, take us through that experience and then the moment where you win, you secure that quota. You're technically on the plane, but you can't really say you're on the plane until they say you're on the plane, like the technicalities of that. But I mean, the whole sort of Pacific Game experience last year and getting that spot to Paris.
Yeah. So it started at Nationals. Like we prepared from there. Went to Nationals, won that. Then went to Pacific Games. To me, that's one of the best ones for me because my descent, my heritage is Cook Island. So from the Pacific. But I was born and raised in Australia and mum's Australian. So, but through my heritage, I'm Cook Islander. And just to be able to see all the other islands, Pacific nations, come together to compete, that was an awesome experience for me. In regards to actually fighting and winning, I was kind of, I don't know how to say it, if I was confident or I knew I was going to win, just like how I feel. I know I'm going to win the Olympics is like that type of confidence. So when I won, it wasn't like, I didn't really feel any different.
You did your job, basically.
Yeah.
That was just, that's a Monday to Friday job. Cool, next.
And then like I qualified. It was more just like once I won, I had a little thought to myself in the ring straight after and I was like, you did it. Like you said what you were gonna do and you did it, so I was just happy for that, and just very proud to represent my family on that stage because none of us have tried to do anything like this before. I'm kind of the first one, and I'm just glad that and very blessed to have been able to do it, like had the opportunity to do it, and then set out and done it.
With that. The family aspect, though, and what you're saying about your dad and that journey and everything, though, but was there a sort of a part of that where it's like, or I guess, let me rephrase that. What was the first thing that you said to your dad or your dad said to you? Like, Dad, I did it. This is the dream. We're going to the Olympics. Or was it a case of, no, next, job's not done?
So, I think this way. So it was never a dream of mine to go to the Olympics. Like I said, when I was younger, I always believed that I could, like when I watched the Olympics, I always believed, I could do that when I was younger, but I never aspired to go. I never had like a sport I wanted to go for. It just kind of came along through my pro career. And then because it'll add value to my name, my profile, I tried for it and then was successful. But my dad is, my whole family is very proud of me and what I've accomplished. But what he said to me was, you said what you were going to do and you did it. That's what he said. And then I was very happy to hear that. Like, I guess I'm a man of my word so far. So when I tell you I'm going to win the Olympics,
I believe you're I'm not disrespecting all the other guests on the show, but you're the first one I believe. Because you've kept it. You've kept your word basically the whole way. It's still a fantastic story though, and that kind of just that moment kind of to go there. And I mean, you were touching a little bit on off air with me about it, but you win that, you're going, but then you can't really say you're going until it's officially announced. What's that kind of period like where you get that you're an Olympian, but then Annemiese is handing you a ticket so you're officially Olympian? Like, that was a weird kind of purgatory moment, I can imagine.
So I told everyone, like, just couldn't say it on social media. So when I came home, we had our celebrations and stuff, celebrating that I was an Olympian, but not serious, just within my circle. And then when she officially gave it, it was like, oh, it's set in stone. You can't take me away now. Like it's going forward, and everything is kind of like a trickle effect after that. What's happening is because of that. I'm just enjoying the ride, just enjoying the whole experience. Because like I said, in my family, no one's done it. So I'm very grateful to be the one representing us all, representing Australia. Very grateful, very proud. And yeah, I'll keep on saying I'll take it with both hands. So because this opportunity doesn't come around too many times for most people. I know some people go 3, 4 time Olympics, but yeah, this some people.
Start at one and then see how you feel afterwards, after the
Yeah, yeah,
Vegas shows and all that kind of stuff, when you're winning all the gold at, like, Caesar's Palace after you won the Olympic gold, right? So
yeah.
how are many of the family going to come along? Like, is it kind of just the entire bunch are going to get on that plane to Paris and cheer you on during the Olympics?
I wish maybe in the future when I fight for a world title, I can look after them more. But my mother and my grandmother's coming.
Great.
So because it's a bit dear to go there.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say the amount, but it's a bit dear, and like I would prefer everyone to actually save that money and like spend it on what you need, like a house and stuff, like a car, because it's to me it's a waste of money. You can watch me on TV. I would like my family to be there, but we live in gotta live in the real world sometimes, and yeah, like I said, like I would love them to be there, but yeah, they're there, they're there with me, they're there.
Your name's there as well, as you said, that the whole name, the weight that the name carries on with. Which I mean, I read an article saying that obviously you're proud to represent Australia, but it's a goal of yours to represent the Cook Islands as well one time. So I mean, winning an Olympic gold, obviously for Australia, for your family, but I mean, part of that as well, I guess, it's for the Cook Islands. I mean, like, is that sort of something that you sort of look at as well, with that proud heritage you've got from the Cook Islands?
So yeah, like I'm not picking sides or anything, but through what I do reflects me. And I'm Australian, Cook Island, my family, that. So whatever I accomplish reflects straight back to everything that I represent, and Cook Island's one of them. So yes,
Goes along with that. Goes
yeah,
along with
they
that
get
too.
it as well. Everyone
You,
gets it.
everyone
It's not
gets
just
it.
me.
Exactly. I like that. That's, again, it's sort of what the whole story of this has been. You just come back from the US, where you win gold at the US Invitational. Now, along the way, you beat the reigning bronze medalist from
Yeah.
the Olympic Games. That experience has got to add a bit of confidence ahead of the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah. I plan to beat everyone. I plan to beat. My goal is so Uzbekistan won the gold medal last time. My last loss was to Uzbekistan at World Titles, and controversial loss. I was very disappointed, but took it with open arms. This just how you do. Like I said, win or lose, as long as I do my best, and I done my best. But I'm after him because he's the best. He's got the biggest target on his back. I'm coming for him. Everyone else, they're just obstacles because I'm trying to look at who's the best, and I'm trying to be the best. And yeah, it was good to beat the Brazilian. He beat me last year, so it wasn't about beating him for because he was a bronze medalist. I just wanted to beat him and get my revenge because he beat me last year, and I also thought I won that fight, so I had something to prove, and then yeah, beat him there. So he actually come to Australia earlier in the year, and I beat him 2 times there as well. So I've beat him 3 times. In his last 4 fights, he's lost to me 3 times.
Aggregate, you win. You're the champ. Easy.
Yeah.
That's how it is. This is what I love about boxing, though, Teremoana, because, like, I wish all sports were like boxing, where it's just that confidence. They're just obstacles. Get them out of the way. Like, I'm going to win, because, like, all athletes have that same mindset. You're all so competitive and you all that sort of stuff. But boxing's the only one I find where you're confident enough to say that. Like, get the out of my way. I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, you got to prove it as well. You can't.
Yeah.
Really, like I don't try to come off like that, but so far I've been proving it. I don't really talk bad about anyone. I just kind of talk about myself and how I believe in my ability, and I do believe in it. I've got the attributes to do it, and yeah, through God willing, I'll achieve a gold medal as well. And yeah.
Also, the only sport then that I think we can officially say Australia has a rivalry with Uzbekistan. I don't think there are many other sports where we can say we're strong rivals with Uzbek. So I like that.
I'm gonna rival with him. Yeah.
Exactly. We're coming for you, Uzbekistan. Like, it's
I'm coming for him.
We're doing
I've been
that.
telling him through my interviews as well. But yeah, it's all just it's just little games. Everything outside the ring doesn't matter. It's when you step in the ring, the bell goes. That's when everything matters. So yeah.
Do you pay then attention to Uzbekistani podcast to see what he's saying about you?
Nah. Doesn't even bother. He doesn't. Yeah. What he
Doesn't
does
bother.
doesn't really bother me.
That counts. I was looking into a little bit around sort of the history of Australia in the super heavyweight competition, because this has actually only been at the Olympics since 1984. We've had 2 Aussie boxers in the super heavyweight. We had Daniel Behan back in 2008, Johan Lin back in 2012. Now, both eliminated in referee stop contest decisions in the round of 16. So we've got a bit of history that we need to break. It's the first time we've had a super heavyweight boxer in more than a decade at the Olympics. So I'm just saying, this gold medal, not only is it going to go a little bit better than the round of 16, we have never won an Olympic gold medal in the sport of boxing, Teremoana. Never. So look at all this history you're ready to create in a couple of months.
Yeah, 100%. Like so I'll be the first super heavyweight gold, but there'll be another Australian that will win gold before me. That's what I keep on saying. And that's what I believe. So we've got 12 Olympians qualified for the Olympics.
Biggest ever boxing team, if I'm not mistaken, we've ever sent, right?
Yeah, it's the biggest one. Yeah, it's the biggest one. So there we have already made history. I know this will be Australia's biggest medal haul, I think they call it. Like yeah, we've got the potential to win lots of medals. And I also believe that others will win a gold medal before I do. So I can't say I was the first Australian, but I will say I'm the first super heavyweight.
I like that confidence, because 1 silver, 4 bronze in Olympic boxing history. Of course, Harry broke our drought, got a bronze in Tokyo, of course. But it's, I mean, it is one of those sports that it's interesting when you look at the history books that Australia's never actually won a gold medal in it. It's one of these ones I feel, because Olympic boxing's been around for so long, that we would have. But no, it's interesting to see that.
Just boxing's getting up there now in Australia. It's not too much government support, not too much there is, but not too much support in regards to the Olympic boxers and like that grassroots boxing as compared to rugby league. They've got all the grassroots stuff, funding, also swimming. I know swimming is good, but the thing is, if you win medals, they invest. So I'll hook up the next generations by winning gold, and then the government starts sending money our way. So that's how it works. No one likes losers. I know this for a fact. No one cares when you lose. They want winners, and that's just how business works. So if you win, people will support you, and that's just how the world goes around. Like, you can't complain about it. Like, you just gotta do it.
We've got a home Olympics, of course, in 8 years, which kind of helps out. But I mean, given that we're sending our biggest ever team in boxing to an Olympics, I can imagine, is some of that a trickle-on effect from Harry winning bronze, like breaking that drought, Harry getting a bit more exposure out there for the sport? A medal does bring more funding. Like, do you think a lot of that comes down for Harry's success, what he achieved in Tokyo?
You can't take anything from Harry Garside. What he's achieved is, like you said, broke the drought. No one's been able to do it for I don't know how many years, but
it's since Seoul. It was since 1988 since we'd won a medal.
Wow. But I would put a lot of the success down. This is just my words. Don't put it on everyone, but I would say our national coach, Santiago Nieva. He has had a lot of experience, and his knowledge passed on to us. And I feel like through him, that's why we've started to get a lot better.
I want to ask a prediction then from you, Teremoana. You're saying that you'll be the first gold medalist in the super heavyweight, but you won't be Australia's first Olympic gold medalist. Of your 11 teammates, who, not just one, maybe multiple, who do you predict will also go on to win gold in Paris?
Okay, I'll say 2.
Okay.
So Shannon Davies, Chips and Gravies. Shannon Davies, he's my stable mate. We keep on so whenever we do a post, we put 2 gold medals, one for him, one for me. And I have faith in him. I know he can do it. He's just got to bring that 3rd round Shannon out in 1st round, but he'll know what I'm talking about. And then the second one is Tiana.
Okay.
Because she's also half Cook Island. So we have that little bit of I don't know what you say, something in common. And then yeah, so we also have this joke. She was the first Cook Islander to qualify for the Olympics because she beat me to it because I'm always last. So she's gonna beat me to winning a gold medal, and then I just have to
Yes,
be
that's not
last.
your fault. That's the schedule's fault, right? Just because her event comes
Yeah,
first,
but
right?
it's,
So
I can never say I was the first because she beat me to it. So yeah,
I
that's my
love
two
hearing
things.
this. I love hearing that. I mean, that would we. I don't think anybody would
But
say no to three
I
Olympic
believe
golds in
everyone
boxing.
got the ability to do it. So but I just named them two because
12 Olympic. Imagine that. Imagine leaving Paris and 12 of our gold medals came from every single boxer we sent.
yeah, that'll be cool. Eh?
I don't think we would have ever achieved that in any sport in history. That 100% every athlete who went got a gold medal. In Winter Olympics, maybe, but not the Summer Olympics.
So like, yeah, I mean it's not impossible. So
No,
we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah,
exactly. I would probably put it out there, Toronto, that no nation in the history of Olympic boxing has ever swept their
yeah,
athletes.
I don't think so.
Hey, I like this history. I like where you're going with that. We're gonna get to some get to know yourself questions. Wrap up in just a moment. Couple of quick things though. So we're recording this obviously at the very beginning of May, so a couple of months. You mentioned to me off air how long it is till you get to Europe and everything, but are there any other competitions you've got now between Paris, or is it all purely training until you get to the first bout of the Olympics?
So in there's one more competition. We leave in 2 weeks to Netherlands.
Right.
So we'll be going there, competing in another World Cup similar to the one I was just at in USA. This will be the last one. So I'm assuming a lot of qualified Olympians will attend. So it'll be a good um, like before the Olympics, a good get to mix it with them. And then we got a training camp in England, Great Britain. And then we come back and then we have our final training camp in Brisbane. And then we go to Germany for our pre-training camp for 2 weeks before the Olympics, and then it's go time.
Wow, go time, switches on. So you get to come back here for a little bit as well. I mean, do you sort of plan is there a big family like farewell, like kind of, something to kind of send you off on that plane with all that sort of love that they're going to be watching you from back home?
I definitely will have a farewell with my family. And like, because I'm going there on behalf of them, behalf of Australia, but me, like, it all started through my family, and that's why I box. Uh, yeah. So when I go there, we all go there, and this how I represent myself, and so we will, but nothing's planned yet. Like
Yeah,
I said, go with the flow, go with the flow.
go
Probably
with
the
the
last
flow.
week, and
Yeah,
then we go from there. But
that works.
yeah, we also got a trivia night coming up, so it'll be good to see
Oh,
everyone there as well. And then
nice.
yeah.
Boxing trivia or just a wide variety of trivia
Oh,
or?
so it's just a trivia about me. It
Ah,
was a
just you.
fundraiser. Yeah,
Ah,
fundraiser.
okay. So do you provide the questions then?
Um, yeah, kinda. So they asked me that my mum's organizing it, and my partner, she sent me questions, and then I just make sure and I
They're
answer these
okay.
questions. Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
yeah,
That's
it's pretty
clever.
cool.
That what a way to do a fundraiser. That
Yeah,
works.
they're looking
Okay.
after me.
Fantastic. And in fundraising too. So, I mean, if people are listening, are you sort of actively, can people fundraise? Can they sort of donate to you along the way? Do you have merch, like some Teremoana shirts or something like that
Oh,
people can buy?
yeah, so I am getting shirts made. They'll be made in the next before the Olympics, so next 2.5 months. And I do have a GoFundMe if anyone wants to donate, which will it's on my Facebook, my Instagram and stuff.
We'll grab it. We'll link it and
Yeah.
let us know when the shirt's up. I'll be first in line to buy one,
Oh,
Teremoana,
sure.
but also we'll make sure that other people get some as well because I always love it when athletes kind of have a bit of merch kind of going out there to
Yeah.
kind of support them. So
No, it's
that
good because yeah, a lot of people supporting, and yeah, we started off with like, not too many, but now we're starting to build a little bit of a name, and I'm
I
just
think
very,
you're going to
very
have a
proud.
big name come. I just feel you're going to be one of these athletes post Olympics, particularly with the gold medal around your neck, that you're going to be a household name come August. We're all going to know
Yeah.
your name. I'm just saying
Yeah.
right now.
Um, It's not something I strive for, but we'll just see how everything goes. Go with the flow.
I'm saying Teremoana Trivia Night in a year's time will just be a weekly occurrence at most pubs around the country. Just
that'd be cool.
you're setting a trend right now, so it kind of. Are you going to be back? So I'm looking here. The first Origin game, 5th of June. Are you going to be in Australia for the? Are you going to be at Stadium Australia to kind of watch the Blues play?
June, July, June. I think I will be in Australia, so I'll definitely watch it.
There you go.
But, yeah.
Sneak on the field. They might ask you to play.
Oh, maybe, maybe I got to hit up Paul Gallen to
do it. There you go. Yeah, are you a Sharks man, Gallen? Are you a Sharks man at all, or who's your NRL team?
NRL. I'm not a fan of NRL.
Right.
I just watch Origin. That's the thing I watch. I don't have too many passions. I actually don't think I have any passion. The only passion I have is my family, and don't have hobbies or anything.
Important passion to have, though. That I like that. You'd fit in very well. So I'm from Tasmania, and we're sort of obviously not really a rugby state, but a lot of the state gets behind the state of origin, and generally you pick or choose New South Wales or Queensland, and a lot of people don't have NRL teams. So I didn't realise there were sort of people who are from New South Wales or Queensland who don't have an NRL team, but they still just go. That's fascinating. I like that. That's clever.
My uncle's from Tasmania. Shout out Uncle Roger.
Oh, nice.
Josh. They're from Glenorchy.
I actually am not even making this up. I'm from Glenorchy. I grew up in Glenorchy. Yes.
You know Josh Nunn?
I don't know Josh Nunn, no, but I spent my 18 years of my formative life growing up in the great suburb of Glenorchy. So yes. There's the YMCA. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe if they're training sort of in boxing, the YMCA there in Glenorchy. I used to frequent that. There's right near the pool.
No, do boxing.
No. Okay. Well, you can go down there, get to the YMCA, and kind of with the gold medal. You know?
Oh, 100%. So yeah.
370 episodes of this show. We've never mentioned Glenorchy until right now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Tassie. Yes. Shout out Tasmania.
Exactly. There you go. Hometown represent. We're that specific about where I'm from, Teremoana. I love it.
That's awesome.
You're on this show every week. Keep coming back. I love it. Before we get to the questions, we have a show mascot. We have an official off the podium mascot. I want you to meet Cherry. He is our Olympic chair. He's overcome adversity over the years. He's a bit injured, but look what he's got in his hand. He's got a gold medal. It's a preview to what you're going to be doing. Exactly. How can you take some inspiration from Cherry? And I mean, how do you think he would go at boxing? He's got a few more extra limbs there. He might be able to get a few punches going on there.
I think he'll go pretty well for when the bell goes and I need a rest.
Hey, yes.
And then see that the plus thing, the medical thing.
Yep.
I think that'll go well for the other opponent. After punch his face.
Yes. See? Look how
he's happy.
He's so inspirational. Look at this, and he's got I love that. I tell you what, we're getting hopefully some pins or something made, which we'll get you one to make sure that you can take to Paris and you can sort of have him there for inspiration. But with the gold medal, you can sit on him afterwards and share gold medal stories, basically.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Along the way. I like that. Teremoana, we wrap up every interview. I'm glad you do, because he likes all of our guests, and that's what matters. We wrap up all of our interviews with a set of get-to-know-you style questions. As always, these are questions that were given to Team Canada athletes ahead of their Rio and Pyeongchang Olympics. I will say, as I say to every guest, if you so do wish, there is a drawing part of this. It's completely optional, but if you wish, you can draw a picture of yourself. You can draw a picture of a Australian animal, and you can draw a picture of a teammate. So how do you feel about your drawing skills after this interview that you could send in to us?
Oh, I'm not a creative. That's all I can say.
It's not a requirement, but
stick figures. I draw the M for birds.
We like stick figures. They're acceptable. So if you feel up to it, feel free to send us in and we will post it up. But I'll start off with the first question for you today. Who to you is the greatest Olympian of all time?
It doesn't have to be Australia, eh?
It can be anybody who has ever gone to the Olympics. American, Australian, Canadian, Cook Islands, anybody.
I would say Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
because of what he's achieved outside the ring as well after the Olympics and what he did for his pro career. So
Great answer.
yeah.
I love that. First Olympics you remember watching were?
I think it was the 2000 Olympics.
Great.
It
Okay.
must have been because I would have been 2.
But I
I
like that I've
remember-
got someone as old who can, I'm getting so many people on
think-
this show now who are like 20 who weren't even born for Sydney, Teremoana. So I'll take that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that was the first one.
Good.
When was the next one? Or maybe I was
2004,
6.
Athens. 2004?
Athens. Maybe it was Athens then.
Okay.
Because I remember I was real young. Just
It's still an
months ago.
Olympics that doesn't make me
Yeah.
feel really old.
So
So I
Athens.
like that. There we go. If you could be a superhero, who would you be?
Asking questions I never think about.
You can be yourself. You're basically a superhero with what you do in the ring. Come on.
Wait. Let's just go. Iron Man.
Great answer.
And then I can just take the suit off and be normal.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that. Your favorite ice cream flavor is?
Vanilla?
Yes. Vanilla. Nobody answers like vanilla is like people give vanilla a bad rap, but vanilla is a great flavor.
It's the
Come
best. You can't get other flavors without it. Nah.
That's a good point. But it's just one of those flavors. Like I like a real good French vanilla. You know that sort of like extra like stronger vanilla. Like
Is that Bulla?
yeah, exactly. Great.
Bulla? Sponsor if you want.
Yeah, please do. Please sponsor both Teremoana and myself. We're open. All the sponsorship. In a movie about your life, who would play you?
There's this there's a movie. Samson.
Yep.
That actor. I don't know his name though.
Okay. All right. We can look that up. I like that. I like a new answer. That works. If you weren't an athlete, what would you be?
Probably a plumber.
Plumber?
Because I'm a qualified plumber. I just stopped working to pursue this goal of mine. And
I kind of feel based on your answer before how you said like this is kind of like your job now. I almost feel like it's kind of the opposite. Like, you know, like it's sort of plumbing or something like that's the outside bit, and this is just the job for the now. You know, like it's just.
Well, if we're successful, I'll be able to look after myself, look after my family, and that's one of the positives that could possibly come from it. But my goal is to, represent my family. That's the goal, and put it down there forever. Just like
that.
people remember Muhammad Ali, they'll remember the name Teremoana.
That is the quote of the episode right there. Can we just say that? Like I just want to kind of just leave that with a bullet point. That's fantastic. Your guilty pleasure snack is?
I like chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say chocolate. Yeah, because I'm not too fancy. Yeah, just a packet of Cadbury. I like plain Cadbury.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're allowed to have, like when you're talking about your diet, or is that sort of once you've got the gold and you're celebrating, Mum, Dad, give me the block of chocolate?
Everything. So after I win the gold, it'll be everything. But let's just clear this up. So when you're dieting, don't look at it as a diet. It's a lifestyle change. This is what I've been told. Yeah, change that thinking. And if you're good 6 days of the week, you don't have to be perfect every day. Just most of the time. So if you're good 6 times, you can be bad once.
So what you're saying is Sunday is dairy milk chocolate day.
That's rest day.
Cadbury, if you're listening, Olympic gold medalist Teremoana wants you to sponsor him so we can get all the dairy milk chocolate after the Olympics. Just load it up. And let's just point out, next to Glenorchy is Claremont, where there's a Cadbury factory.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
There you go. So it's all coming back to Tassie. The most recent TV show that you binge watched is?
Oh, it's not a TV show. It's an anime. I would say Demon Slayer.
Nice. Tell us about what's that about? Give us an idea of what Demon Slayer is about.
I won't go into the beginning, but it's about like a samurai, and and they're demon slayers. They kill demons.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
nice.
the cartoon is pretty cool.
I like it. I like it. I usually at this point also ask our guests specific sport, like is there a movie or a TV show, but obviously boxing. There's many a movies about boxing and TV shows and everything. Do you have a favorite boxing movie at all?
Favorite boxing movie? I like Real Steel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robots and Hugh Jackman. Who doesn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
I've heard like that one. Yeah.
Everyone goes for Rocky, but we want robots and Hugh Jackman. Come on.
I've never watched Rocky.
I actually have never seen Rocky either. It's one of those ones where you feel like you should have seen it, but you haven't seen it. So
Yeah, everyone says I should watch it because I'm a boxer, but yeah, nah.
yeah,
Like
it's
I
a
said,
job.
I'm not
It's
a
a
fan
job.
of boxing. So.
Exactly. Well, we want robots and Hugh Jackman. That's the real boxing. Come on.
Yeah.
Your favorite place in the world to compete?
To compete, ooh. So far, it's all the same. You're just in a square ring.
It's just the ring.
It's
Simple.
just, like everywhere else is
I heard Paris because
Yeah.
that's where you win a gold. So
yeah.
that's the answer I
Yeah,
heard.
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah. Ask you in 3 months.
Everywhere is cool.
Yeah.
Australia.
Australia.
Let's say Australia.
Your favorite, I don't know if you play video games or not, but your favorite video game?
Favorite video game, Tekken.
Yes, Tekken.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I everyone was all like Mortal Kombat. I actually like Street Fighter as a kid, but I got into Tekken as a kid. Yeah.
Tekken, Street Fighter second, Mortal Kombat third.
I'd completely agree with that. If you were a baseball player, your walk-up music would be. I mean, I guess you kind of. Do you have walk-up music in Olympic
Baseball.
boxing?
Yeah. Oh, not in Olympic boxing, pro boxing. I don't know. I've never watched baseball. I didn't even know they had walk-up music.
Sort of like them walking up to the plate to like swing right. So yeah.
Doesn't it go?
I think that's after they've like struck out a little bit. But yeah. Well, I guess. Well, what was your song like when you were professional? What was your song when you'd walk into the ring?
My debut song was "Bad and Bouge" by HB Boys.
Okay, nice. And do you keep it like because if you win a bout with that song, it's like good luck, or do you change it up each time? Or
I just change it every time. I don't believe in rituals.
Okay.
Fight. Some people have pre-fight rituals. Nah, I just throw all that out the door because it only matters when you're in the ring. That's what matters, and that's my mindset. When the bell goes, that 9 minutes, that's what counts.
So you're not like right leg under the second rope every time, or like like have to put a certain strap a certain way.
Yeah, some people do that, but I don't do any of that stuff.
Get down to business. The last one I'll ask you: the best nickname you have ever been called.
Teremoana.
That's the only one you need.
No nicknames. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of nicknames. What they used to call me. I'm not a fan of nicknames. So at school they called me Teremoana, and then outside of school people used to call me Samson. That's what I introduced people as because that's my second name. So yeah, that was my nickname, Samson.
It worked. One of the best pieces of commentary I think I've ever heard. I was watching one of your bouts from the US Invitational, and the commentator, after reading your name, paused, and then he goes, "I have no idea. You're that big. You can call yourself whatever you want." And I'm just like,
I seen that and I started laughing.
Epic. It was hilarious. It was very, very funny. Teremoana, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Before we let you go, people want to follow your journey, social media. Where can they check you out to stay up to date with everything between now and Paris?
So I have Instagram and Facebook, and my profile is Teremoana _rep, REP. So my name and then _rep. That's on Facebook and Instagram. And like that's pretty much it, isn't it?
No TikTok? No TikTok yet, or not into
I don't have TikTok? I've been told to make TikTok. I just recently made a LinkedIn. So but I think that's more business. I put everything on my Instagram and stuff. So if you're wanting to follow the journey, you can follow me then, or you can follow me after I win gold medal. It doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, I just want to say all glory to God. He's provided me these opportunities, and just want to thanking my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I just kind of want you to stay on this podcast forever because like you were just dropping the most inspirational and amazing and just everything along these lines. And that is the first time someone's ended a podcast like that. So I don't even know how to close this out without saying thank you. And that was the perfect way to end it. So best of luck for Paris and all the glory to God after that. That was fantastic. I'm on board. I'm converted.
Oh, can I just say some things?
Of course you can.
And one more thing to the question thing.
Yep.
So in the Bible, Samson, he grew his hair and he wasn't allowed to cut it. That's where he gets his strength from. So since the day I took on my first name, I haven't cut my hair and I got long hair. So that's another thing for me. And I also believe in my hair is my strength. So I'll be growing my hair until the end of my boxing career, and then I'll cut it off after that. So that's one of the things I'll be doing. And also just want to shout out to my sponsors.
Yes,
National
please,
Ability
plug them.
Service, Semios Plumbing Supplies, Your Choice Realty, and All Bar Vehicle Products. Thank you all for supporting me. And also new sponsor, Dr. Bruce Flegg. Thank you so much for supporting me. And do my best to win gold.
You're going to win gold. You are going to win. This. If this interview does not get a gold medal, then I quit the show. I'm just saying that right now. Teremoana, mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thanks for having me.